I am now joined by Fredrick of the UK-based band Neonfly. How are you doing?
Not bad, man. Not bad. How about you?
I'm doing well. Started to see the light at the end of the tunnel now. So, how long has Neonfly been going for?
It's about 10 years now, a bit more than 10 years. Our first album came out in 2011. So, it's about 10 years since the band has been out there releasing albums.
So, who are the other band members?
We've got Paul Miller, the bass player, who's been with me from the start. Willie Norton, the singer, he joined in 2010 actually. So he's also been there from pretty much from the start, because he's been on all our albums. And the newest member, the drummer Declan Brown, who joined in 2016. Well, I mean, he officially we sort of announced him in 2019, but he'd actually been playing with the band since 2016, doing a few shows in Europe and here and there. And that's it. We used to be a 5-piece. We used to have another guitarist, but we've for this album, when our last guitarist left, we basically kept things as a 4-piece and just live we tour with an additional guitarist, but officially the band is just 4 members.
So, what sort of musical influences inspired the band sound?
Well, that's a tough question, because obviously the new album is quite different from our first 2 albums. So I guess there's a lot of influences that we sort of used to have on the first 2 albums that I wouldn't say we got rid of them or anything like that, but there's a lot of new stuff that came in for the new album. So I mean, I think that at the start it was a lot of sort of traditional metal and classic stuff, from European power metal and stuff like that, and all the classics from 80s hard rock and heavy metal, melodic stuff, and we've got a very, very strong and solid foundation and knowledge of that style of music. So the melodies are something that have always been really important for the band and that we're always going to keep. But for the new album, there's also been a huge amount of new influences that have come in, from modern bands, a lot of contemporary stuff, within modern metal, some really heavy bands that have also influenced us. And a lot of different music, really, that a lot of contemporary music. So it's been like a combination of this sort of really good knowledge of all the classic influences and the sort of the roots of heavy metal and hard rock, combined with this new love for really modern music and modern metal and contemporary sounds that has sort of spawned what The Future Tonight is, our new album, and also what we wanted to do, creating this sort of an identity for the band and a new sound that would really define us, without being a copy of something that existed before, from 40 years ago, 30 years ago, but also without trying to copy any of the bands that are out there now. So it's sort of like, that's what we tried to do anyway.
Yeah. So earlier this year, you brought out a single of a cover version of Venus, and this featured Danny Devine. How did that come to be?
Well, it was a bit of a weird, well, not a weird story, but I suppose, we were supposed to do some acoustic covers of. We did quite a few actually. We released last year, at the end of last year, we released on YouTube 10 acoustic covers that fans had requested via a crowdfunding campaign that we organized back in 2019, and so we were releasing those acoustic covers, and you know, which was quite fun to do. And one of the songs that was chosen was Venus, but when I started doing the arrangement for that, I was sort of messing around, you know, playing some guitar riffs, and I started coming up with this really metal riff that just felt like, you know, it wanted to be played by a whole band, and you know, yeah. So I told the guys, how about we do this as a full band thing, and we sort of, you know, release it as a single and have fun with it. And because I was going in a very metal direction with the riffs and stuff, I thought, you know, how about I have a bit of fun, and I just put, you know, some stuff in the middle with this interlude with a narrator and everything, and sort of give the lyrics a dark twist. And then I just came up with the idea of getting Danny to do that, to play that character, to play the character of Venus, the goddess. And yeah, so I mean, I sort of knew her from before, because she's based in London most of the time, and she's been around. You know, we've seen each other, and we got plenty of friends in common. So it was pretty easy to get in touch with her and, you know, suggest the idea. And she really liked it, so she was really up for it. And yeah, so, you know, everything sort of flowed naturally, I would say, and we ended up with with this collab, which I thought was really fun.
So, speaking of collaborations, the new album, The Future Tonight, features a fair few collaborations, like the title track itself with Bjorn Speed Strid. How did you get him to come on the album first?
Well, I've actually known Bjorn for a long time, actually. I've known him for about 15 years. Yeah, it's a random story, but I had some good friends in Sweden that I went to visit ages ago, and they lived in the same city that he lived, and actually turned out to be really good friends with him. So I ended up going to his house and, you know, watching a movie with him and stuff. And so yeah, we kept in touch all this time. You know, I went to see him with Soulwork whenever he played in London, and occasionally with the Night Flight Orchestra as well. And then it was in 2019. We were playing a festival in Hamburg in September, which actually turned out to be our last live show to date.
Yeah,
you know, because then we went to the studio, and of course we didn't expect that all this stuff was going to happen, but you know, but so he was playing there too with Night Flight Orchestra. And I saw him backstage, and we hadn't met for a long time, actually. So, but I saw him there. We started chatting, and because we were going into the studio like a couple of months after that, I asked him, you know, would you be interested in doing a collab and sort of doing some guest vocals for us? And he said, you know, send me the song, I'll check it out, and if I like it, I'll do it. So yeah, he liked it, and he did it.
And the other collaboration is with Can Tasson from Heart of a Coward. Is that a sort of a similar story?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I've also known Khan for a while, from the time that he was in No Consequence, you know, his first band, and yeah, he's been a good friend of the band. You know, he's even been on tour with us a couple of times, you know, helping us out and doing in our early days. Yeah, he's come on the road with us. Yeah, he even went to Europe with us a couple of times, and yeah, so no, he's always been a good friend. And it was just, yeah, again, just a case of asking him, and you know, asking if he wanted to do some guest vocals, and yeah, he liked the song, so he was up for it, and yeah.
So the new album as a whole, it's not been out that long, but what's the reception been like of the new album?
I think it's been pretty good. You know, obviously with a stylistic change like that. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, some fans they don't seem to think that the change has been that big. Others do seem to think that it's been a very big change. So I guess it's just a matter of perception. But overall, everyone seems to like what we've done, and to think that, you know, that's the right direction for us. And at least in terms of the feedback that we've had from our fans, you know, it seems that, you know, everybody's enjoyed the album. You know, the video for the song "The Future Tonight" is actually the most viewed video we've ever had on YouTube. So I think that's a good sign. So yeah, no, I think the reception has been pretty positive so far.
So this sounds like a bit of a long shot, but touring with everything what's going on, have you got like a tour on paper in the works?
Nothing concrete. No, I mean, we're trying to get some dates. We're trying to see if we can go out there. Even if it was a case of getting a tour and then even if it got postponed, but at least we'd have those dates secured. But we haven't got anything at the moment. No, we've got ideally we'd like to see if we can find a UK tour for the end of the year, trying to see if we can support another band or something like that, and because it's been a while since we did our last big UK tours date back to 2014. So after that we have played the UK, but it was just like one-off shows because we did a few European tours and sometimes they had a London show. So we sort of focused on that, but we haven't really toured the UK up and down like we did back in 2014 for a long time. So I think what I'd like to do is to sort of get on a good support tour, and then shortly after that hit the road headlining here in the UK, and in between, if we can get some European shows and stuff like that, obviously we would like to do that too.
So Fredrick, thanks for taking the time up to have a chat with us today, and very best of luck with the rest of the album.
Thanks, man. Yeah, pleasure. And yeah, cheers.